Captain Zeftar looked at his control screen with all 6 of his eyes. The numbers could not be right. His ship had been flying through space for 3 months, looking for new worlds to add to the Galactic Federation. What he found made no sense at all. "Dr. Velnara, come look at this," he called to his science officer. His voice shook a little. The tall, blue-skinned alien walked over to his station. She had been studying planets for over 200 years. When she saw the readings, her face turned pale. "This cannot be correct," she said. "Run the scan again." Zeftar pressed the buttons with his thin fingers. The same results came back. The 3rd planet from the local star was covered with life. Not just simple life, but advanced life. Cities, technology, spacecraft. The problem was that this planet should have killed everything on it millions of years ago. "Look at these numbers," Velnara pointed at the screen. "The gravity is 3 times stronger than what most species can handle. The temperature changes by 80 degrees from day to night. The air has oxygen in it," Zeftar shivered. "Oxygen was poison to most life in the galaxy. It ate through metal and destroyed organic tissue. Only the most dangerous predators could survive breathing it. The surface has water covering most of it," Velnara continued, "but not safe water. This water has salt and chemicals that would kill most known species in minutes. And look at this weather data." The screen showed massive storms that moved across the planet, wind speeds that could tear apart buildings, lightning strikes that hit the ground thousands of times per day, rain that fell so hard it could knock down trees. "No intelligent species could evolve on such a world," Zeftar said. "Our databases list this type of planet as a Class 12 death world. Nothing lives on Class 12 planets, but the evidence was right in front of them. Not only did something live on this impossible world, but it had built a civilization. The electromagnetic signals coming from the planet showed advanced technology. Radio waves, computer networks, satellite systems. We need to contact the Federation Council," Velnara said. "This changes everything we know about where life can exist." On the planet below, Lieutenant Jake Morrison was training with his team in a hot desert. The sun beat down on them as they practiced survival skills. Jake had been a soldier for 10 years, and he loved the challenge of working in tough places. "Temperature is 115 degrees today," called out his teammate Danny Park. "Perfect weather for a training run." Jake laughed. "Could be worse. Remember last month when we trained in Alaska? 30 below zero in a blizzard." The men continued their exercise, not knowing that alien eyes were watching them from space. To Jake and his team, this was just another normal day at work. Hundreds of miles away, Dr. Lisa Carter sat in a government building. She worked with languages, helping to translate messages from other countries. She was very good at her job because she spoke 12 different human languages. Her computer made a beeping sound. A new message had arrived, but this one was different. The signal came from space, not from anywhere on Earth. "That's strange," Lisa said to herself. She called her friend Danny Park, who worked with computers and satellites. "Danny, I'm getting a signal from outside Earth. Can you trace where it came from?" Danny looked at his instruments. "Lisa, this signal came from really far away. Like not even from our solar system far away." Lisa felt excited and scared at the same time. "Can you help me figure out what it says?" For the next 6 hours, Lisa and Danny worked together. The message was in no language that existed on Earth, but it had patterns, mathematics, pictures. Slowly, they began to understand parts of it. The message was simple but shocking. "Greetings, survivors of the forbidden world. How are you still alive?" Lisa read the translation 3 times. "Danny, I think someone out there knows about Earth and they think it's impossible for us to live here." "That's crazy," Danny said. "Earth is a great place to live. Sure, we have some tough weather sometimes, but it's nothing we can't handle." Back on the alien ship, Captain Zeftar was talking to the Federation Council through his communication system. 12 different alien leaders appeared on his screen, representing species from across the galaxy. "Council members," Zeftar began, "we have discovered something that should not exist. An advanced civilization has evolved on a Class 12 death world." The council members made sounds of disbelief. A creature that looked like a giant plant spoke first. "Captain, you must be mistaken. We have studied Class 12 worlds for thousands of years. They are uninhabitable. The conditions are too extreme for any life to develop intelligence. I am sending you our scan data now," Zeftar replied. "You will see that these beings have not just survived but have thrived. They have built cities, developed technology, and even achieved spaceflight. An alien that looked like a rock with crystals growing from it said, "If this is true, these beings must be incredibly dangerous. Any species that can survive on such a world would be nearly indestructible." Dr. Velnara added, "Council members, we should be very careful. These creatures have adapted to conditions that would kill any of us in minutes. They breathe poison gas, withstand crushing gravity, and live through temperature changes that would destroy our equipment." The council spent the next hour discussing what to do. Finally, they reached a decision. "Captain Zeftar, you are ordered to make contact with these beings," the plant-like leader said. "But do so from a safe distance. Use maximum protective protocols. If they are as dangerous as their environment suggests, we must learn about them before they discover space travel beyond their own system." On Earth, Lisa Carter was preparing humanity's first message to an alien species. She had no idea that the aliens were terrified of humans. To her, Earth was a beautiful, comfortable world where people lived normal, peaceful lives. "What should we tell them?" Danny asked. Lisa smiled. "Let's invite them to visit. We can show them around, maybe take them camping or hiking. I bet they would love to see our national parks." She had no way of knowing that her friendly invitation would cause panic across half the galaxy. Lisa Carter typed her message carefully. She wanted to make a good first impression on humanity's first alien visitors. After working for 2 days with Danny Park and other language experts, they had created what they thought was a perfect welcome message. "Greetings, friends from the stars," the message began. "We are happy to know we are not alone in the universe. We invite you to visit our beautiful planet Earth. We would love to show you our mountains, forests, oceans, and cities. We can take you camping under the stars, hiking through our national parks, and swimming in our clear lakes. Earth has many wonderful places to explore and exciting activities to enjoy. We hope to meet you soon." Lisa pressed the send button, feeling proud of their work. That should make them feel welcome, she said too. Danny, what Lisa did not know was that her friendly message would cause the biggest emergency. Meeting in galactic history, Captain Zeftar received the human message while his ship was still studying Earth from a safe distance. When the translation computer finished working, he had to read it 5 times before he believed what it said. "Dr. Velnara," he called out, his voice full of panic. "You need to see this immediately." Velnara hurried over to his station. When she read the message, her blue skin turned white with fear. "They want us to visit their Deathworld," she whispered. "They are inviting us to come down to the surface where the poison air and crushing gravity will kill us. Look at what they want to show us." Zeftar pointed at the screen. Mountains that reach into the sky where the air is too thin to breathe. Forests full of predators. Oceans of poisonous salt water. And they call these things beautiful. "What is this word camping?" Velnara asked the computer. The translation system worked for several minutes before giving an answer. "Camping appears to be a human activity, where they voluntarily sleep outside in the wilderness, exposed to weather, wild animals, and other environmental dangers." Zeftar's eyes went wide. "They sleep outside? Where predators can find them?" "It gets worse," Velnara said, reading more of the translation. "Hiking means they walk long distances through dangerous terrain for pleasure. Swimming means they enter large bodies of water voluntarily. Even though Earth's oceans contain creatures our database classifies as apex predators." Within 1 hour, Captain Zeftar had called another emergency meeting with the Federation Council. This time, leaders from 20 different worlds joined the call. "Council members," Zeftar began, "the beings from the Deathworld have responded to our contact. They have invited us to visit their planet." A creature that looked like a jellyfish floating in a tank spoke first. "That is good news, Captain. We can learn much from observing them from a safe distance." "You do not understand," Zeftar replied. "They want us to come to the surface. They want to take us to the most dangerous parts of their world. They describe these deadly places as beautiful and fun." The rock-like alien from the previous meeting said, "Captain, surely you are mistaken. No intelligent species would voluntarily expose themselves to mortal danger." "I am sending you their exact message now," Zeftar said. "They mention activities that our computers cannot fully translate because they have no equivalent in any known galactic language." The council members spent several minutes reading the human message. Slowly, sounds of disbelief and horror filled the communication channel. "They want to show us their mountains," said a bird-like creature. "Our geological surveys show these mountains extend over 8,000 meters into the sky. The atmospheric pressure at those heights would kill most species. And they mentioned swimming in their oceans, added the jellyfish alien. Our scans show these oceans contain thousands of species of predators, many larger than our spacecraft. Meanwhile, on Earth, the government had asked Captain Tony Rodriguez to prepare for the alien visit. Tony was a Marine who had served in many different parts of the world. He thought the alien visit would be easy and fun. "Okay, team," Tony said to his group. "We need to show our alien friends the best of what Earth has to offer. I want to give them an experience they will never forget." Tony had chosen a team of people who knew different parts of Earth very well. Betty Johnson was a park ranger who had worked in national parks for 15 years. She knew all the best hiking trails and camping spots. Kevin Chen was an extreme sports athlete who loved rock climbing, whitewater rafting, and skydiving. He thought the aliens might enjoy some adventure activities. Susan Wright was a marine biologist who spent most of her time in the ocean studying sea life. She could show the aliens the beautiful underwater world. Carlos Martinez was a survival expert who could live comfortably in any environment on Earth. He knew how to find food and water in the desert, jungle, or mountains. "I think we should start with something easy," Tony said. "Maybe a nice nature walk in Yellowstone National Park. The geysers and hot springs are really beautiful this time of year." Betty nodded. "Great idea. The wildlife is very active right now, too. We might see bears, wolves, and bison," Kevin added. "After they get used to Earth's environment, we could try some fun activities, maybe some rock climbing or whitewater rafting." Susan said, "I could take them diving to see the coral reefs, or we could go swimming with dolphins and whales." Carlos suggested, "If they really want to understand human survival skills, we could do some wilderness camping, teach them how to make fire, find clean water, and build shelter." The team was excited about showing Earth to their alien visitors. They had no idea that every activity they mentioned would be considered a form of torture by most galactic species. Back in space, the Federation Council was trying to decide what to do about the human invitation. "We cannot simply ignore them," said the plant-like leader. "If these beings are as powerful as their environment suggests, we need to understand them." "But sending a delegation to their world would be suicide," replied the bird-like alien. "The gravity alone would crush most of our species." Dr. Velnara had an idea. "What if we send a small team with the most advanced protective equipment we have? Full environmental suits, emergency medical support, and a rescue ship standing by." "The beings mentioned showing us activities," Zeftar said. "What if these activities are some kind of test? What if they want to see if we are worthy of their friendship?" The council spent 3 more hours discussing the situation. Finally, they reached a decision that would change galactic history. "We will send a small diplomatic mission," announced the plant leader, "but with maximum safety precautions. Captain Zeftar will lead a team of 12 representatives from different species. Each member will wear full environmental protection and carry emergency evacuation equipment. Remember," added the rock alien, "these beings have survived on a world that kills everything else. Treat them with extreme caution and respect. Do not underestimate their capabilities." As the council meeting ended, Captain Zeftar began preparing for the most dangerous diplomatic mission in galactic history. He had no idea that the humans were planning to show him what they considered a relaxing vacation. The alien ship landed in Yellowstone National Park on a bright Tuesday morning. Captain Zeftar and his team of 12 aliens stepped out wearing the most advanced protective suits their technology could build. Each suit was designed to survive in the most hostile environments known to galactic science. Betty Johnson watched the aliens walk down from their ship and felt a little worried. "They sure are wearing a lot of equipment for such a nice day," she said to Tony Rodriguez. The temperature was 75 degrees with a gentle breeze. To Betty, it was perfect weather for a nature walk. To the aliens, their instruments showed they had landed in conditions that could kill them in minutes without protection. "Welcome to Earth," Betty called out cheerfully. "I'm Betty, and I'll be your tour guide today. I hope you're ready for a beautiful walk through one of our most peaceful parks." Captain Zeftar's translator took several seconds to process Betty's words. The device had trouble with the concept of a peaceful location that their sensors classified as an active volcanic zone. "Greetings, human Betty," Zeftar replied through his suit's speaker system. "We are honored to visit your world. Please proceed with caution," Betty laughed. "Caution? Don't worry, this is one of the safest places on Earth. Just watch your step on the wooden walkways and don't get too close to the hot springs. Dr. Velnara checked her readings. The hot springs Betty mentioned were registering temperatures of over 200 degrees. That was hot enough to melt many alien metals. You mentioned hot springs, Velnara said carefully. Are these dangerous thermal vents? Oh no, Betty replied. They're just natural hot water pools. People actually swim in the smaller ones at some of our other parks. Very relaxing. The aliens looked at each other through their helmet visors. These humans not only lived near thermal vents, but they voluntarily entered them for pleasure. As they walked along the trail, Betty pointed out various sights. See that geyser over there? It shoots water 300 feet into the air every hour or so. And those brown animals in the distance are bison. They weigh about 2,000 pounds each. Zephytar's instruments detected the massive creatures Betty had mentioned so casually. According to his database, Earth bison were powerful enough to destroy most galactic vehicles. Yet Betty spoke about them like they were harmless decorations. Do these creatures attack humans? Asked an alien that looked like a large insect. Bison? Not usually, Betty said. As long as you don't bother them, they leave you alone. Though you should keep your distance during mating season. They can get a bit grumpy. The alien team's stress monitors were beginning to show dangerous levels. They were walking through an active volcanic zone filled with massive predators, and their human guide was treating it like a casual stroll. Oh, look, Betty said excitedly, pointing ahead. A mother bear with her cubs. How cute. The aliens stopped walking immediately. Their instruments identified the creature as a grizzly bear, classified in their database as an apex predator capable of destroying small vehicles. Should we retreat to a safe distance? Zephytar asked. We're fine here, Betty assured them. She's about 50 yards away and she's focused on her cubs. Bears usually avoid people anyway. An alien that looked like a walking plant asked, What do you do if these predators attack? Bear attacks are really rare, Betty explained. Most bears are more afraid of us than we are of them. If you see one, you just make noise, look big, and back away slowly. Of course, if it's a mother with cubs, you give her lots of space. The aliens could not understand how humans had survived long enough to develop intelligence while sharing their world with such dangerous creatures. On most civilized worlds, any predator larger than a small pet would be eliminated immediately. After the nature walk, Kevin Chen took over the tour. He was excited to show the aliens some of Earth's adventure activities. I thought we'd start with something easy, Kevin said. Basic rock climbing on a nice, gentle cliff face. He led them to a rock wall that was 30 feet high. To Kevin, this was barely worth calling rock climbing. To the aliens, their instruments showed an unstable vertical surface that could collapse at any moment. This structure appears unsafe, reported the insect-like alien. Unsafe? Kevin looked confused. This is one of the most stable climbing spots in the park. Perfect for beginners. Kevin put on his climbing gear and started up the rock face without any protective equipment, beyond a simple rope and harness. The aliens watched in horror as he climbed the vertical surface using only his hands and feet. Kevin is not using any mechanical assistance, observed Dr. Velnara. He is supporting his entire body weight with his natural limbs. Yeah, that's kind of the point, called down Kevin from halfway up the cliff. It's all about using your own strength and skill. Want to try it? Every alien on the team took a step backward. The idea of voluntarily climbing a vertical surface without mechanical support was beyond their understanding. Susan Wright arrived in the afternoon to show the aliens Earth's marine life. She led them to a lake where the water was clear and calm. This is perfect swimming weather, Susan announced. The water temperature is about 70 degrees. She walked into the lake wearing only a simple swimsuit. The aliens' instruments detected multiple life forms in the water, including several fish species over 3 feet long. There are predators in the water, warned Zephytar. Predators? Susan looked around the lake. Oh, you mean the fish? They're just trout and bass, completely harmless. She dove underwater and swam out toward the center of the lake. The aliens watched their instruments as she descended to depths that would crush most galactic species without protective suits. How long can humans survive underwater? Asked the plant-like alien. Susan can probably hold her breath for about 2 minutes, Tony answered. Some people can do 4 or 5 minutes with training. The aliens were amazed. Humans could survive underwater without breathing equipment for several minutes. This was longer than most spacefaring species could survive in vacuum. When Susan returned from her swim, she was carrying something in her hands. "I caught a fish," she announced happily. "Anyone hungry for dinner?" She held up a large trout that was still moving. The alien's instruments identified it as a living creature with sharp teeth and defensive spines. "You captured a wild predator with your bare hands?" Dr. Velnara asked in disbelief. "It's just a fish," Susan laughed. "Catching trout is actually pretty relaxing. Good way to spend a quiet afternoon." As the day continued, the aliens realized that humans had a completely different understanding of danger than any other species in the galaxy. Activities that would terrify most civilized beings were considered normal, fun, or relaxing by humans. Carlos Martinez joined the group for the evening portion of the tour. "I thought we'd end the day with some camping," he announced. "Nothing beats sleeping under the stars." "Sleeping under the stars?" Zeftar asked. "You mean outside? Exposed to the environment?" "Sure," Carlos said. "It's a beautiful clear night. Perfect for camping." As darkness fell, the aliens' instruments detected dozens of nocturnal predators becoming active in the surrounding forest. Meanwhile, the humans were sitting around a fire, cooking food and telling stories as if they had no idea they were surrounded by danger. "This is how humans spend their leisure time," Dr. Velnara recorded in her notes. "They voluntarily expose themselves to environmental hazards and predators for entertainment purposes. Either they are the bravest species in the galaxy, or they have no concept of fear." The aliens spent the night in their protective suits, watching their sensors and wondering how the human race had survived long enough to develop space travel. The humans slept peacefully in thin fabric tents, completely unaware that they had just terrified the most advanced diplomatic team in galactic history. Carlos Martinez woke up the next morning feeling great. The aliens had seemed a little quiet during their first day on Earth, so he decided they needed more excitement to really understand human culture. "Good morning, everyone," Carlos called out as the aliens emerged from their protective shelters. "I hope you enjoyed your first night camping on Earth. Today, I want to show you some real adventure activities." Captain Zeftar's stress indicators had not returned to normal levels since arriving on Earth. The night sounds of Earth's predators had kept his team's alarm systems active all night long. "What do you mean by real adventure activities?" Dr. Velnara asked through her environmental suit. "Yesterday was just the basic stuff," Carlos explained cheerfully. "Today we're going to Colorado for the annual Extreme Sports Festival. You'll get to see what humans do when we really want to have fun." The alien team exchanged worried looks through their helmet visors. If yesterday had been the basic stuff, they were terrified to see what humans considered extreme. 2 hours later, their aircraft landed at a mountain resort in Colorado. The aliens could see hundreds of humans gathered around the base of a massive cliff that stretched thousands of feet into the sky. "Welcome to the Rocky Mountain Extreme Sports Festival," announced the event coordinator, a cheerful woman named Amy. "Today we have base jumping, wingsuit flying, ice climbing, and whitewater rafting. Perfect weather for all outdoor activities." Tony Rodriguez joined the group as they walked toward the crowd. "This is going to be great," he said to the aliens. "Some of the best athletes in the world are here today." The first event was base jumping. The aliens watched in complete horror as humans climbed to the top of the cliff, strapped on small parachutes, and threw themselves off the edge. "They are committing mass suicide," whispered the insect-like alien. "Suicide?" Carlos looked confused. "No, this is base jumping. It's one of our most popular extreme sports." Dr. Velnara checked her instruments. "These humans are falling at terminal velocity from heights that would guarantee death." "How do they survive?" "The parachutes," Tony explained. "They open them at the last second and land safely. Takes a lot of skill and courage." "Courage?" Zeftar asked. "This appears to be insanity." A human wearing a wingsuit approached their group. His name was Pete, and he had been base jumping for 10 years. "First time at the festival?" Pete asked the aliens. "You should try it. We have tandem jumps for beginners." The aliens' emergency medical systems activated automatically when they calculated the survival odds of jumping off the cliff. According to their computers, the chance of survival was less than 1%. "We appreciate the offer," Zeftar replied carefully, "but our species are not equipped for such activities." "No problem," Pete said. "How about wingsuit flying? It's a little easier than base jumping." He pointed to a group of humans who were jumping off the cliff while wearing fabric wings. They flew through the air like birds before opening parachutes and landing in a field below. "Easier?" The plant-like alien could barely speak. They are flying without mechanical assistance through an atmosphere that would tear apart most aircraft. Yeah, wingsuit flying is awesome, Pete agreed. Humans have been dreaming of flying like birds forever. Now we can actually do it. The next event was ice climbing. Humans used metal tools to climb up frozen waterfalls that were hundreds of feet tall. The ice cracked and fell as they climbed, but the humans seemed to enjoy the challenge. The structural integrity of the ice is clearly compromised, observed Dr. Velnara. Why do they continue climbing? That's part of the fun, explained Amy, the event coordinator. The ice changes constantly, so every climb is different. It really tests your skills. Kevin Chen had joined the ice climbing competition. The aliens watched as he climbed a vertical wall of ice using only 2 small axes and special boots with metal spikes. Kevin appears to be in mortal danger, reported the rock-like alien. Kevin? He's fine, Carlos said. He's been ice climbing for years. He actually teaches classes for beginners. There are classes for this activity? Zeftar asked in amazement. Sure. Lots of people want to learn ice climbing. It's a great workout and really builds confidence. The aliens could not understand how an activity that would kill most galactic species could be considered a confidence-building exercise. Danny Park arrived with his laptop computer to show the aliens videos of other human activities they were missing. Since you can't try everything today, I thought you might like to see some of our other sports, Danny said. He showed them videos of surfing during hurricane conditions. Humans rode waves that were 30 feet tall while winds strong enough to destroy buildings blew around them. They enter these storm systems voluntarily? Asked Dr. Velnara. Oh yeah, big wave surfing is huge, Danny replied. Some people travel around the world chasing the biggest storms just to surf the waves they create. The next video showed mountain climbers ascending peaks over 8,000 meters high. The humans climbed through blizzards and temperatures that would freeze most alien species solid in seconds. These humans climb to altitudes where there is insufficient oxygen to sustain life, observed the jellyfish-like alien. Right, that's why they call it the death zone, Danny agreed. But people love the challenge. Some people climb all the highest peaks on every continent. They call it the death zone, yet they go there for recreation. Zeftar was beginning to understand why Earth was classified as uninhabitable. Danny showed them more videos. Humans swimming with great white sharks, running through Death Valley in summer heat, and diving into underwater caves. Here's a fun family activity, Danny said, showing a video of children on playground equipment. This is from a school playground. The aliens watched human children climb structures that reach dangerous heights, slide down steep metal surfaces, and swing on moving equipment suspended in the air. Your offspring, Dr. Velnara whispered. You deliberately place them in situations that test their survival skills. Well, when you put it that way, I guess it does sound intense, Danny admitted. But kids love playgrounds. It helps them develop coordination and confidence. Carlos had been listening to the conversation with growing concern. Are you guys okay? You seem really worried about everything. We are simply trying to understand human culture, Zeftar replied diplomatically. Maybe you'd prefer something more relaxing, Carlos suggested. We could go whitewater rafting. It's pretty mellow compared to the other stuff. The aliens' instruments detected the Whitewater River nearby, Class 5 rapids with water moving at speeds that would destroy most vehicles, rock formations that could crush anything that hit them. Temperature cold enough to cause hypothermia in minutes. This is your definition of relaxing? Asked the insect-like alien. Sure, it's just a nice float down the river, Carlos said. Great way to cool off on a hot day. As the day continued, the aliens began to realize something that changed their understanding of the entire galaxy. Humans did not survive on their death world despite its dangers. They survived because of its dangers. Every challenge their planet offered had made them stronger, braver, and more adaptable. Send an emergency message to the Federation Council, Zeftar whispered to Dr. Velnara. We need immediate extraction. What should I tell them? She asked. Tell them we have discovered the most dangerous species in galactic history, Zeftar replied, and they invited us to participate in their recreational activities. Dr. Velnara sent the message while watching a group of humans prepare for something called volcano boarding, where they planned to slide down the side of an active volcano on pieces of wood. Meanwhile, the humans continued their festival, completely unaware that they were terrifying the most advanced diplomatic team the galaxy had ever assembled. To them, It was just another fun day trying new adventures and making friends with their alien visitors. The emergency message from Captain Zeftar reached the Galactic Federation Council while they were in session discussing trade agreements. Within minutes, the peaceful meeting had turned into the largest crisis response in galactic history. Council members, Zeftar's voice came through the communication system. I am requesting immediate evacuation from the human world. My team is in extreme danger. The plant-like council leader leaned forward. Captain, what has happened? Are the humans hostile? Have they attacked your team? No, council leader, Zeftar replied. They are trying to be friendly. That is the problem. For the next hour, Zeftar transmitted video recordings from their visit to Earth. The council members watched in growing horror as humans performed activities that defied all known laws of survival. They jumped from cliffs for entertainment, reported Dr. Velnara. They climb vertical ice formations that are structurally unstable. They voluntarily enter bodies of water containing apex predators. And they want us to participate, added Zeftar. They keep asking if we want to try these activities. They seem confused by our reluctance. The bird-like council member spoke up. Perhaps these are rituals designed to test worthiness. Many primitive species have dangerous initiation ceremonies. That is what we thought initially, Dr. Velnara replied. But our analysis shows these are normal recreational activities. Human children participate in modified versions. They have entire industries built around these dangerous pursuits. The recordings showed human families camping in wilderness areas, children playing on equipment designed to test their physical limits, and people of all ages participating in activities that would require emergency medical teams on any civilized world. Council members, Zeftar continued, we must revise our understanding of the species. They do not survive on their death world despite its challenges. They thrive because of them. Every dangerous condition on their planet has made them stronger and more capable. The council spent 3 hours reviewing the evidence. Finally, the rock-like alien spoke. If this analysis is correct, we are dealing with a species that considers mortal danger to be entertainment. What does this mean for galactic security? Dr. Velnara had prepared a detailed report. Based on our observations, humans possess physical and psychological capabilities far beyond any known species. They can survive in environments that would kill most galactic life forms. They voluntarily seek out dangerous situations that improve their abilities. And most concerning, they appear to have no fear of death. No fear of death? The jellyfish alien's tank bubbled with concern. They acknowledge danger, Dr. Velnara clarified, but they do not let it stop them from pursuing their goals. They have a saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. They literally use near-death experiences as a method of self-improvement. Back on Earth, the human team was becoming worried about their alien guests. The visitors had seemed stressed and frightened throughout their visit, despite all efforts to show them a good time. I think there might be a communication problem, Lisa Carter said to Tony Rodriguez. They keep talking about danger and safety protocols. Maybe their translation equipment isn't working properly. Tony nodded. They do seem really nervous. I suggested we could try some beginner-level activities, but they refused everything we offered. Susan Wright joined the conversation. Maybe they're just not used to outdoor activities. Some people prefer indoor entertainment. That might be it, agreed Carlos Martinez. Let me ask if they'd like to try something less physical. Maybe we could take them to a theme park, or show them some of our cities. The aliens overheard this conversation through their translation systems. The idea of a theme park sounded ominous when proposed by beings who considered jumping off cliffs to be relaxing entertainment. 3 days later, the Federation Council reached their decision. Emergency sessions had been held on dozens of worlds. Military advisors had been consulted. Psychologists had analyzed the human recordings. The conclusion was unanimous and terrifying. Captain Zeftar, the council leader, announced, "You are ordered to return to Federation space immediately. Do not inform the humans of our decision." What should I tell them about ending our visit? Zeftar asked. Tell them we need to return home to share what we have learned with our people. Thank them for their hospitality and promise to maintain communication. After the call ended, the council leader addressed the emergency assembly. Fellow beings, we face an unprecedented situation. We have encountered a species that weaponizes the very concept of survival. They have turned their death world into a training ground that produces beings capable of thriving in any environment. The formal declaration that followed would reshape galactic politics forever. Effective immediately, humans are classified as a Class Alpha species. Their world is designated as both a quarantine zone and a no-approach zone. Any contact with humans must be approved by the full council and conducted with maximum safety protocols. Furthermore, the announcement continued, human activities are hereby classified as weapons of mass destruction. Any attempt to introduce human recreational practices to other worlds is strictly forbidden. The final part of the declaration caused panic across multiple star systems. All species are advised that humans appear to be genuinely unaware of their own dangerous capabilities. They believe their extreme survival practices are normal and enjoyable. This makes them potentially more dangerous than any known military force. Captain Zeftar delivered the news to his human hosts with great care. We must return to our home worlds to share the wonders we have seen, he told them diplomatically. That's too bad, Betty Johnson replied. We were just getting to the fun stuff. We haven't even shown you our deserts, jungles, or Arctic regions yet. The aliens' emergency systems activated one final time at the mention of even more extreme environments. Perhaps on a future visit, Zeftar said quickly. Lisa Carter was disappointed but understanding. Will you keep in touch? We'd love to learn more about your worlds too. We will maintain communication from a safe distance, Zeftar promised, not realizing how accurately he was describing the Federation's new policy. 6 months later, Dr. Velnara published her research paper, Human Recreational Activities, a Study in Extreme Survival Adaptation. The paper became required reading at every military, academy, and diplomatic school in the galaxy. Her conclusion revolutionized xenobiology. Humans represent the first known species to evolve recreational behavior that doubles as combat training. Every leisure activity observed serves to improve physical capabilities, mental resilience, and survival skills. They have unknowingly created the most effective warrior preparation program in galactic history. Meanwhile, on Earth, the humans continued their normal lives, completely unaware of their new status as the galaxy's most feared species. Susan Wright summarized the general human reaction to the alien visit. Nice people, but they seemed really worried about safety. I guess they're not used to outdoor activities. Maybe next time we can start with something easier like miniature golf. The Federation established a permanent monitoring station just outside Earth's solar system. Their mission was to watch for signs that humans were developing faster than light travel. The standing orders were clear. If humans achieved interstellar capability, the entire galaxy needed to be warned immediately. The final irony was that humans had become the most feared species in galactic history simply by being themselves. Their invitation to show aliens around their beautiful, exciting world had accidentally created the greatest diplomatic crisis in known history, and they had no idea any of this had happened. The last entry in Dr. Velnara's official report read, Recommendation: if humans ever develop interstellar travel, suggest they avoid mentioning their recreational activities to other species. The galaxy is not ready for humans who are actively trying to be impressive.